fine.
Yeah, it sounds good, but you're maligning someone's character. And you're sounding like a little bit like AAS. So you working for her? You working with her?
Ooh.
Because that's what she does. She goes to the people in the chat. You acting like Remix when he found out 5K over the last 2 months.
Uh-oh. Look at y'all out there. See this? See that aura? Look at the guy. I ain't never seen so many niggas in my life. Got to team up to fight one nigga. And y'all niggas out there talking like y'all don't see this shit. I be laughing like a motherfucker. I be laughing like a motherfucker. It take the whole conscious community to jump on one nigga. I'm y'all number one motherfucking target all the motherfucking time. You know what? I don't address, what seems to be erratic thinking. I'm not gonna fall into that. That was a very bad look. And I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Anti-Afro Spengali. That's right, Seti. My sentiments exactly. Everyone, thank you very much for sending me all your information. I was attached to my official football duties fund today, so I wasn't able to get on YouTube as I normally do. Nothing is going to pull me away from football fund obligations. So I have a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give you my response. I don't have any concern about let me see your handcuffs or anyone in that subhuman space that she manages. The contest is still on. But before I talk about the contest, take note of the comments that you heard at the beginning, and you see what we have been dealing with since let me see your handcuffs perped her way into our domain. We let it ride. We were warned about what she was all about. And this is one of the things that causes problems. Throwing people's names into things when they have absolutely nothing to do with the situation. I have never met the Photon. I've never been on the Photon's page. I've never heard a live stream. I simply got these clips that you sent because she simply just threw my name into the situation, just like she lied on Gerald and threw him into the situation with Nikki, although he made absolutely no comments on a message board that she accused him of making. There's so many other things that she does. Now, this is something I'm going to say directly to Remix. I believe it was last week. Remix, you stated, if somebody messes with your children, it's on. I mean, we don't need to go there. That's what any responsible parent would do. Now, I'll take it to another level. If anybody messes with you, you're going to allow that? No, you're not going to allow that. So under what logic should it be I should accept that? I should accept these people and their behavior, their conduct is embarrassing, it's deplorable, it's abusive. I'm not going to accept it. Threatening me, threats of physical violence, and Nikki, and let me see your handcuffs, supports this person. So I have every single right in the world to defend myself. So when you say go after the people that are doing what they're doing, they shouldn't be doing, this is it. Somebody threatening people for absolutely no reason because of content, lying on people, and calling them all types of names that a public servant absolutely should not be using. Terms involving people's mental health, talking about people sexually, that's sexual harassment. Those policies are prohibited 24/7. Using this gender attacking language, bitches and hoes and sluts and all these other things that are coming out of Nikki's mouth, this is actionable. So I'm not going to let somebody who sits up here and screams and hollers that she gets no respect as a professor talk to me like I got a tail between my legs and I'm going to just skirt away and do nothing. I'm not going ghetto. That's uncouth. It's disgusting. That behavior is beneath me. Remix, you even said that Carrie was talking like a nigga. You said it was so disgusting. You don't associate with women like this. You said that. Again, you can change your mind. Nikki throwing me into the situation involving your platform. You can do whatever you want. It's your platform, but I would not engage in any environment where there is so much verbally abusive, sexually harassing language, gender attacking language that Nikki is spewing in my direction. This black female who demands respect, speaking to another black woman like this and expecting me to indulge that in any way. How could that possibly be when I have never, ever experienced anything like this? Pick the worst disagreement I've had, arguments, conflict with men in my lives, with my female friends, with relatives. None has ever come close to using this type of language. And then turning around and swearing up and down, I'm better than you. You're beneath me. You're this. It's very bizarre behavior. And the really shocking part about this whole situation is looking into your chat and looking at the comments that are left. This is a role model that Nikki is serving as. Her making these statements and then people following up, reinforcing those statements. Even attacking Gerald, who she says she's cool with. Not something I have ever had in my life. There would be no reason I would ever come to YouTube and indulge something like this. And with the total stranger, for some reason, who expects me to listen, tin hut and respect, not ever going to happen. Support who you want to support, have you ever you want to have on your channel, but I do not accept verbal abuse. I do not accept any threats of violence. Nikki and Let Me See Your Handcuffs consort with these people who engage in this behavior. And this goes to anybody. The nerve of Let Me See Your Handcuffs. She took a swipe at Remix. She's disrespectful to the Photon, and she wants them to put their channels at risk to get AAS channel. Well, let me tell you a little secret about me, which Let Me See Your Handcuffs doesn't know. We are not the same. We don't have the same value system. I am not attached to the physical channel. I have relationships with people who support me, and I support them. And most of our engagement occurs off YouTube. So if somebody thinks enough of make a change, you might want to try to convince him to think outside that little 2-inch square that he operates within when he says, oh, the comments on the channel, that means she doesn't have support. Comments on this channel have nothing to do with the amount of support that I get. Thankfully, people know people try to target them. So they protect themselves. And people are comfortable with how they communicate, and I don't stand in the way of that. See, people try to impose all these values on you, thinking you're just like them. I am nothing like Let Me See Your Handcuffs or any of those people in her live stream who constantly make false accusations against people, calling Gerald Palmer a child molester. Really is nothing much to say. None of these individuals have any sort of authority, power, any sort of influence when it comes to me and what I do on this channel, what I think and what I say. And this has to be stated. You heard this protesting going on, calling people's jobs, down people's jobs. Why are you doing this? La, la, la. I have this to say. If you were silent during the time everyone else's jobs were called and people were lying on them, where do you get the gall to speak up now when people are reporting the truth? Where would you have that stance to be able to, I mean, it's a free country, you can open up your mouth and say it, but you don't have credibility. Calling people's jobs with bald-faced lies that they are sexually assaulting or sexually abusing their students, like what happened to Gerald Palmer. And there was silence on that, relative silence. There was no outrage. People bailed left and right. But now that truth is being reported, people have an issue with that. I mean, I do not look for justice in these YouTube streets. It's the moral of the situation to come out and say that people shouldn't be reporting public servants for violating their code of ethics when you are a target of their attacks is absolutely nonsensical. Everybody has a way of dealing with their own situations. And I deal with situations within the law. I am no exception. If somebody thinks I have done something I shouldn't be doing, have I ever stood in anyone's way of making any report? No. Have I threatened anybody? Have I tried to dissuade anybody? Hell no. It is your right to make a report, just as it's my right to make a report. You can talk to Dumpsy about this. Him and his flunkies that bailed on him, he was paying them to send in fake reports. I'm not afraid of a fake report because it's just that, it's fake. And people have to know, they come onto YouTube and see people talking and saying these and planning fake reports, they're not going to take it seriously. Lies are not going to prevail. But when people put in their effort, their elbow grease, the back work into creating scenarios that are false and inflammatory, there is a risk to the victim. And that's what happened. And too many of you were quiet. You were out to protect your channels, protect your revenue. And if you called Gerald your friend, you didn't want to say anything for your own reasons. But now to try to come up and try to say, we shouldn't be doing this, this is wrong, going after people's jobs, none of these people have ever come up with an alternative. And let me make it clear, I didn't say Gerald Palmer was reporting anything. I'm using him as an example and myself as an example because it was egregious, the things that were done. And nobody here on YouTube feels, no matter what they say, they should be targeted and lied on. Absolutely not am I voluntarily going anywhere. If YouTube wants to shut down my platform, they can shut it down. And guess what? I'm going to build another channel. But I think it's also ironic that people who are trying so hard to shut down other people's channels have had their channels shut down. What does that say? That's very ironic. So whatever fantasy people want to float about them being victimized, when they were silent watching their so-called friends come under siege. And now that they're engaging in actionable behavior that violates their code of ethics, they want to put a stop. What is your alternative, people? I've heard no alternatives. These people are completely and totally out of control, and they have this bizarre notion that they can control me and other people when they are out of control. Get control of yourself first. If you're screaming and hollering, using sexually harassing and gender debasing language towards me, you think that is going to shut me up? It is not. Let me tell you how else Let Me See Your Handcuffs lied. Let Me See Your Handcuffs lied when she said that I doxed her for her job. She was the one that tried to dox me by putting a birthday message up and putting what she said was my age. I never had any discussions with Let Me See Your Handcuffs regarding my date of birth or my age. And so use caution, and that's globally when you think you are IDing someone with their personal details. And you heard Nikki Proctor Walden, how she was acting, claiming that this is my birthday, the maliciousness of their whole scheme. What a difference a day makes. This is about intent, people. These are evil people. Listen to what they say. Look at what they do. That confirms it. By the way, if I didn't mention this, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. Let Me See Your Handcuffs recorded that so-called birthday message from what appears to be a classroom. And I didn't even pick that out. There were 3 other people that noticed it. I didn't even notice that. So you have her harassing me from her place of employment. What a difference a day makes. For your information, people, I stated I did not have a close relationship with, let me see, your handcuffs. I don't know where she works. I know she's a teacher. We all know she's a teacher because she comes on and she identifies herself. She invokes her profession, saying she's a history teacher. I do not know where she works. Someone sent me that information. Her name was not used. The location was not used. All that was used was something like web learning or something like that, and then social studies or something. That was it. Her face is on YouTube. She can cry and scream about doxing all day long and privacy complaints, which she has a right to file. She has a right to file privacy complaints. My counter will be her photo, her likeness is on YouTube. See, I'm not like these other people. I'm not going to try to stop people from filing complaints. I'm not going to be pissed or anything. File your complaints. I will respond accordingly. Now, what I got to do, I get to get back to this game. I want to make sure I came on and let you know my position. There are some other videos in the queue, but I don't have time right now to fix them up, to get them, I guess, processed to post. I'm working on that. Thank you again for your support, sending me information. Never, ever, for 1 second, forget to heed the warning, buyer beware.